Curry sets, fires, puts it up. Bang! Steph Curry from way downtown.
This is going to be a tough play. Bryant, the Cavs win the World Series. Bryant makes the play. It's over. And the Cavs have finally won it all.
Irving and Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good. Kyrie Irving from downtown. It's over. It's over. Cleveland is a city of champions once again. The Cavaliers are NBA champions.
And strike three. Dodgers have won it all in 2020.
Rebound to Sol. Kicks it out to Odom. Odom throws it ahead. The Lakers repeat back-to-back titles. The LA Lakers, the 2010 NBA champions.
Welcome in, everybody. It is another edition of Real Sports. Of course, it is me, myself, and I, Colin Morris. False! I have some friends. Not joining me this week is the illustrious Suge Knight. We expect him back next week to break down the Super Bowl. But here to break down the NBA trade deadline and the Super Bowl coming up this weekend, we have a slew of folks. Joining us is the master himself of this very network. It is Matt, the Master Thomas. Come on down. What's up,
How
bud?
you doing? I'm doing all right.
Every single person that we're bringing in here is in some way involved in the trade deadline, but myself so far. And I am very excited to be the only person whose heart has not been ripped and wrangled asunder by any trades just yet. So, without further ado, the Pacers and the Cavs have been very involved with trades this week, including trades with themselves. Representing the Pacers, it's Toby. Come on down.
What's up, everybody? How we doing? Trade deadline craziness. I love it so much.
Ooh-wee. And to represent the Cavs
Hold on.
in a semi-non-biased format.
Hold on. I made this man a promise, and I have to abide by it.
Oh,
Okay.
jeez.
And your fantasy football champion.
Oh, God.
Thank you. I feel like it hasn't been said, but the New Jersey Boobies have won the championship. I haven't had my chance to come on here yet. Listen, I had this whole entire, very humble, by the way, thank you to everybody who's in the league, Rick the Rager Radis status that I was going to create for myself on this channel. But since I was never able to go on Real Sports to brag about my championship win, I just want to say thank you to everybody who was in the league and to Dwayne for taking all of my draft compensation to help my team get a little bit better.
Yeah, Dwayne, it's all your fault. It's all.
I don't know about that, but
Bro, you were dropping 200 points like it was nothing. It was absolutely insane. Like, I would go to work for a 12 o'clock game and look up at 3:30, walk into my car, and you're up like
170.
100 points every week. It wasn't even close.
Hey, Colin, to be fair, he sold his soul for the first championship.
100%. We'll see how this plays out in a few years. Dwayne might be sitting here like, who knows? Folks, fantasy football will be coming back next season on Real Sports. We're still in this season. We are still in the winter. Super Bowl is upon us. But Thursday, before all of the Super Bowl mania really breaks down, we have a little thing in the world we like to call the NBA trade deadline, and it has already been going crazy. Absolutely insane. We're going to start out talking about a trade that has nothing to do with any of our teams at all. And that's what happened on Friday night when the LA Clippers acquired Norman Powell and Robert Covington from the Portland Trailblazers for Eric Bledsoe, Justice Winslow, Keon Johnson, and a 2025 second-round pick. Incredible package if you're looking at the standpoint of, will Paul George or Kawhi Leonard come back? Obviously, Norman Powell and Robert Covington would be great pieces to slide along next to those two players, but neither of them have played in the year 2022. So I throw this over to Matt, as someone who slightly likes a team in LA whenever they're good. Is this a good move for the other LA team,
Hold
or
on.
is this a bad move for the other LA
I
team?
like the Lakers when they're bad too. Let's make that clear.
I haven't seen a tweet about them recently.
That's because I haven't been watching a lot of basketball recently, besides my Cavs. That's what school does to you. No, I like this trade more for the it's kind of for both teams, because for them it's like, tell me you're tanking without telling me you're tanking. Come on. I mean, I guess the thought for one of these teams ties into a trade we'll talk about later on. But Norman Powell and Robert Covington, great pieces, both on long-term deals, but these are more so moves for next year when you have Paul George and Kawhi back.
Yeah, I thought it was very interesting that aside from the trade we'll talk about next, none of these trades have been from teams that are in active competition for a top 4 seed. I said except for one of the teams.
No, that's not what I was going to say. And so I was about to object, and then you said top 4 seed. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, none of these teams are competing for a top 4 seed except the Cavs. Like that is the facts. All of these teams that have been in these trades are making moves that don't matter right now. They look good on paper. They seem like they matter, but we're not going to see them come to fruition for now. So I'll throw this over to Toby as somebody who doesn't like either of these players. Were you, as a Pacers fan, looking for any of the players in this trade?
Not necessarily. Mostly because, to be honest, I didn't think the Pacers were going to do anything towards the trade deadline, just because our team owner said 2 months ago, quote, "I love our little team." And after I saw those quotes, I'm like, oh, well, so much for, completely rebuilding this team, like he had said the previous month before that. So there's just a lot of uncertainty around this team up until the last couple of days, which we're going to get to. But specifically this trade, I like Robert Covington. Like he's baller. I like seeing him go to LA, and obviously not sure the Paul George, Kawhi Leonard situation, but you can say that about literally every other team in the league, right? Like just COVID injuries, like it's a mess right now. But Robert Covington was the one name that stuck out to me because he's actually, like, I remember watching him play, and he's really, really good. And then also Justice Winslow. How many teams has he been on? He's been in the league a very short amount of time, and this is his 4th team.
Justice Winslow's actually been in the league for 6 years already.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
It feels like it's his 3rd year, but anyway,
I'm just waiting, and I honestly thought the Heat were his shot. I thought he had a really good shot to play well with them, and they just didn't bring him in last year. I will throw it over to the champ himself. Any final thoughts before we move on from this trade?
I mean, nobody's really talking about Powell in this situation.
He had a great night the other night.
No.
He had 28 points in his first game.
Powell's been a scorer. That's why I like the move for the Clippers. It's a way for them to still stay in contention with both those players out.
And I understand that we're going to be getting into this soon. It's just, what the actual hell does this do for Portland? I don't understand what they're trying to do right now, because what?
We'll get into it later, but yeah, they are doing something. I'll bring it up later.
Yeah, they're gonna make a trade with the Lakers, and then they're gonna get Dame on the. I don't know. I just don't understand what they're doing, and like I said, Matt's dancing around like he knows because he's the Pacers or the Trailblazers GM.
No, I just read those a lot.
But I don't know. It just doesn't. I feel like, I guess if Dame's not gonna play this season, then why not get into that top 5 pick situation and then see where you can go from there and continue to build around him. But for the Clippers, they're going to be fighting for a playoff spot, I'm assuming, even if it's going to be in that lower half of the East or West, sorry. And that is a very competitive spot to be. If you don't see yourself as a lottery team, but you see yourself in the thick of it, why not continue to bolster this roster in order to make moves in order to...
And I think the Pacers are still in contention for the play-in tournament right now. They're right around 10.
Yeah.
Not for long.
I mean...
I think long-term and short-term, this was a move for LA to say, hey, we're still here. I don't think that they're going to be competing for a title this year, but they're going to be in the playoff, especially with this move. like I said. And hey, you're going to still remain competitive, and you're still going to remain the most mediocre team in LA.
Can't argue with that. So let's throw it over to a little bit of something that happens with everyone on this screen but me. The Cavs are sending Ricky Rubio, a lottery protected 2022 first round pick, and a 2022 second round pick from the Rockets to the Pacers for Karis LeVert. I will throw it to Toby first. As a Pacers fan, this is the first move that they make, and you're sitting around wondering, oh, okay, you mean the thing that everybody saw coming actually happened?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and even when I first read it, I was still like surprised. And my first thought was like, man, LeVert, like he's really good. He's finally actually starting to play, because when we first got him, he was injured, and I was really excited to see him kind of come into his own with this team, right? But then you see that he gets moved for picks, and then we got Ricky Rubio, who's not going to play a second for the Pacers. Like, let's just get that out there. Yeah, he's going to sit, and then supposedly he's going to re-sign with the Cavs next year. So,
Yep.
Well done. That was smart. But no, I'm liking the picks. This is clearly
the Pacers. Is he even going to move out of his house?
Probably not.
Probably not. I mean,
what's the point of moving?
Right? Like, is dude even going to move?
Yeah.
Like, is he going to show up for like an interview or a press conference and then just be like, all right, bye, and then go back to his Uber Black back to his house?
I wouldn't be shocked if Cavs and Rubio already have terms agreed.
No, for sure. And the Pacers knew what they were getting with him anyway. But no, I'm happy with this. I'm happy with the picks. The Pacers are clearly rebuilding, especially after today, which we'll get to. And this makes me happy because I have so much to say about the Indiana Pacers as a franchise right now. I've barely got to watch them because they signed a lucrative deal with DirecTV to where only like 5% of their fans can actually watch the games. I still try to pay attention like on Twitter and see what we're up to, and we stink. Like, we stink a lot. So it's clear we're tanking after this, and after the trade today, we are finally tearing this team apart and rebuilding. And as a fan, that makes me hopeful because I mean, I like Sabonis, which I don't want to jump any further because we'll get to it. But in terms of this, I'm happy. I'm happy with the picks. We're gonna be a very, very young team these next couple of years. Hopefully, we can start to kind of build something out of this with all these young guys.
All right, Cavs fans. All right, ready? Rock, paper, scissors.
I'll let Nick go first.
Okay, Nick wins.
I mean, we all know what this does for the Cavs. This puts you in a situation where you can have him play the 3. You could have him play the 2, obviously, I think is where he's going to primarily be coming from. And I think that what this does more or less, it's not only adds scoring, which we really didn't desperately need, but like that was the thing that you know what I mean. That was the thing that the Cavs needed the most from this trade, obviously, was the scoring. But I think that it also bolsters the bench up even more, adds more to that rotation because Bickerstaff was using a very, very small rotation in order. I mean, even with the COVID stuff, I think that Goodwin has found a role on the team for now, but it was kind of a revolving door. I didn't even know Ed Davis was on the team going into the season. But let's talk about this from a Pacers standpoint, because at first I'm going, oh my gosh, the Cavs fleeced the Pacers out of basically nothing. If for some God unknown reason this season goes awry, then we get our pick back if it's a lottery protected pick. That's wonderful. I'm noticing that a lot more GMs are taking lottery protected picks. That I would say that the Cavs pick isn't going to be a lottery protected pick, but there's a pick later on that's protected that I was kind of like, oh, okay. But I realized today, actually, it took me a while to realize that second round pick is going to basically be like a really late first round pick.
It's going to be
so
high.
Even if
somewhere between 33, probably 32 and 34, somewhere in that. 34 probably is like the lowest.
If they move Christian Wood, that team's not winning much. Not that it is already, obviously, but I mean, Christian Wood is
going to hold on to Christian Wood. There's just something about the way this Rocket team is panning out that the top of the draft is looking like there's a lot of fill-in to complete a roster that they're looking at right now that could turn them into a Grizzlies in 2 years. I think that's kind of the model that they should be looking at if I was them. Because Kevin Porter Jr. is a baller. Christian Wood is a baller. Jalen Green, right? That's the one that's in That was the pick from this year that went to Houston.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jalen Green
Green.
has been.
And then if you could add
He'll be fine.
Jabari, the guy from Auburn, or if you could add Paolo Banchero to that team, that's immediately 4 athletes coming at you that are absolute ballers. And but Christian Wood is just too good. If you could get another first for him that's not lottery protected, I would do it in a heartbeat. But it's such a tough spot to be in when you're a team that's already as low as you can go. Like, are you really gonna, sell your soul even more?
Well, it came out today that like a lot of teams are trying to go after him. That's the only reason why I say that. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if every single team in the league is just looking at that contract going, maybe we could swing him for a few years. I mean, the same thing is happening with Grant over in Detroit. It's funny how like the worst 2 teams in the league have a very, very strong power forward situation going on where realistically you could probably get draft capital for them and continue to build towards the future. Because like you're saying, I mean, Paulo and Chet are obviously big men coming out. I mean, Jabari is going to be in that small forward situation. So whatever team gets those 3 players, they're going to be in a good situation moving forward. I just was like, oh, well, the Houston pick, I mean, and the Cavs, obviously, at this point, if they don't make the playoffs, then something drastic happened. So I firmly believe that Indiana is actually walking away with something now. Out of this deal, 2 basically first-round picks. But moving forward for the Cavs, I'm just super thrilled, super excited to potentially see Karras play tomorrow. And
Yeah.
I moving forward, I wonder what, since we're still talking about the Cavs, what the ceiling is going to be for this team at this trade deadline, because you still have a lot of assets to be able to make maybe one more move, maybe one more big move, maybe one more small move. I'm aiming obviously more towards the small move, but Kobe Altman has made these incredible deals and snagged players for basically nothing at this point. I mean, the Karis LeVert and Jared Allen move, they basically gave up like Torian Prince, I think, for all of this trade to happen. And then some first-round picks that aren't going to mean as much in the long run.
You guys were facilitators in the Harden deal, and you came out with Jared Allen and Karis LeVert. Basically, you're going to look at this as like one big moving puzzle.
Let's just think about it from the standpoint, and I'm sorry I'm taking so much time on this.
You're fine.
But let's take this from the standpoint of the Cavs in general. We didn't think that we were going to be in this spot. I mean, and obviously, we never would have expected, like the Warriors, for example. I expected them to be back where they were because they were getting their key role players back. You know what I mean? There were certain teams that were not good last year that I was like, oh, well, they'll be able to bounce back. But now you see where the Cavs are at this point. It's just definitely unexpected. So
Yeah.
You got a lot of unexpected teams in this year. Yeah, I would say
Memphis.
The Grizzlies and the Cavs are on a like Daredevil and Kingpin simultaneous ride. And we'll just see which one comes out on top because both teams are so exciting to watch for different reasons. John Moran is doing stuff that we can legitimately say, and I'm probably not the only one that is saying this, and I know I'm not. He's doing stuff we haven't seen since like Michael Jordan's rookie year or like first 3 years of the way he goes to the basket. It's beyond Derrick Rose, Russell Westbrook. I mean, this is some artsy. He is Derrick Rose and Kyrie Irving put together into one player. That is how he plays basketball. And that's extremely dangerous. And you got Evan Mobley coming through here like a great chariot blazing a fire. Like, he does not care. The guy will play basketball the way he wants to play basketball, and he doesn't have to play legitimate center spot because there's a legitimate center standing next to him. And it's actually unbelievable that this is working out in a way that is the inverse of what the Pacers thought they were going to have with Sabonis and Turner. This is exactly what they thought they were going to have, and it's just didn't work out. Obviously, now it's a breakup. We can get into the next trade.
Hold on, my quick thoughts on this trade.
Oh, sorry, your thoughts on the Cavs trade.
I think they got great picks, no doubt about that. This Rubio coming back for like nothing is going to be fantastic. But I think the Pacers could have gotten more, but instead they've left us in a position where we can now make this other move that I will bring to attention and preview of the deadline. So,
All righty. Well, as we sit on that, let's get into one more trade before we get into the big Pacers trade, and that is the New Orleans Pelicans and the Portland Trailblazers got involved with a move that sends C.J. McCollum to New Orleans, along with Larry Nance Jr. and Tony Snell. Portland gets back in return Josh Hart, Tomo Podoronsky, Nikolai Alexander-Walker, Didi Luzada, and a 2022 first-round protected and 2 future seconds. Okay. I see so many sideways moves today that I don't know what to say about this aside from sure, New Orleans compete for the 8th seed if you want.
that's what this move is about.
But like, sure, if you're New Orleans, CJ McCollum was your great hope to entice Zion to come back and not really make any noise about like, hey, let's go play for the Knicks or trade me or whatever all that was going to be, because it was coming. We all know it was coming, and we smelled it from a mile away the second Cam Reddish got traded to the freaking Knicks, and he was one Duke player away from the big 3 from Duke getting back together. Now we're here, and C.J. McCollum and Larry Nance and Tony Snell are Dan Gilbert. Come on, man. Like, is this really all you got?
You mean David Griffin?
David Griffin. Sorry, Dan Gilbert, David Griffin. They look exactly the same to me in my brain. They take up the same slot in my head. Like, what are we doing here? Like, trying to appeal to a guy that's not playing on your team right now, and you're going to go for the 8th seed this year, maybe, and then play in a play-in tournament, maybe. If this all works out. CJ McCollum's a baller. That's all I know. And that's why I think New Orleans wins this trade, because CJ McCollum's the best player in it. And in Portland, overpaid because Nikolai Alexander-Walker is the best player going there.
Yeah, Portland overpaid. I will say I want to. This gives CJ a chance to possibly be the leading scorer, and CJ's an Ohio boy, Can't McKinley.
I think Brandon Ingram's going to let that happen. That dude does not pass the ball like he should. That's all I'm saying. Like,
well, who has he had to have on his team to also score this season?
Oh, this season.
This season.
Yeah.
No one. He's had to be the one scoring. Like, give my man a little bit of like. He's kept that team afloat single-handedly, basically.
Herb Jones. Sorry.
Yeah. Like I was at
the.
Yeah. I was at the game against the Pelicans last Monday with the Cavs with our boy Connor Breedlove. And it was just like, man, this team's a bad team. This team is just a bad team. Granted, we nearly lost that game, but that's because
I was about to say. I'm a Cavs fan. We almost lost that game.
That was our first. That was also our first game without Garland, though. Or our second game, and it was a back-to-back. So
we won.
Yeah, we won. At the end of the day, we still won. We still got the dub. That's all that mattered. But yeah, I mean, they made moves to try to stay in contention. Granted, they are playing. They made a move with the team who's literally the spot under them. So maybe we see Nikhil Alexander-Walker blow up. But here's what a lot of people aren't talking about, and Woj brought this up earlier, and this is what I said I'd talk about. They're not this. This is not about Portland getting ready to blow it all up and say goodbye to Dame. Portland's in this, and I quote from what
they're clearing cap space so they can sign somebody else to come play
Portland's
with
plan is to fully reshape roster.
This is not crystal ball shit. This isn't like Woj came up with. We've
all
been on this for like a month.
Nick, I'm saying this for more for Nick. Okay. Portland created a $21 million trade exception today, and potentially created $60 million in cap space for this summer with multiple draft picks and assets between both trades.
Yeah.
They can now pursue high-end talent, no issue.
Now, does the high-end talent want to come there? Completely different conversation.
It's Portland.
Right. So, other than that, I don't really have a whole lot to say about this besides it just feels like they're moving sideways, and this is obviously to make space for Dame and for New Orleans to take a little leap.
How far did Dame and CJ get Like, I know they went to the Western Conference Finals.
Nothing
how
but
many
first
times?
round. Once.
Western Conference Finals. They went to the Western Conference Finals and played the Warriors.
That's
Yeah,
why I said I know they went once. I
Once.
didn't know if they'd. My memory's foggy. I didn't know if they'd been more than once.
No,
Well,
other than
second
that,
that
round,
was-
I think they've been everywhere. They've been up and down,
Right.
but only
that
one
wasn't
finals.
That wasn't recent. So it was just a matter.
Seasons ago. That was the season we played the Raptors in the
it's 3 seasons ago now. Basically.
3 seasons ago.
Including the bubble. The bubble throws me off every time I try to think about
Yeah, the
past
bubble-
seasons, like because
Well,
I
the bubble
didn't
they
forget
got-
that
the
happened.
Bubble
Warriors
got
weren't in
knocked
it.
out. Yeah, the Warriors weren't in the bubble, and I think Portland missed the cut.
Warriors and the Pacers missed the
No.
cut. So
Trailblazers made the cut by a hair over the
Correct.
Suns,
correct.
and then they got knocked out in the first round by the.
And everyone was pissed because the Suns won 8 games in a row and then went to the finals the next year.
Yeah.
Okay. You ready?
Yeah, Toby.
You ready, Toby?
This is why I'm
You take
here.
a moment to shut
Ready,
up.
Toby? All right. Pacers trade Domantas Sabonis, Jeremy Lamb, and Justin Holiday on Tuesday to the Sacramento Kings for Tyrese Halliburton, Buddy Hield, and Tristan Thompson. This, I think, is one of the best trades, par for par. Even trades, you pull up the trade machine, you say, damn, what is all of these teams losing? Not a whole lot less than they're gaining. And I think that is very important for both of these teams. This is even. That a lot of people don't agree with me, but I think this plays better for the Kings.
I actually agree with you there in the short term of it.
Short term, yeah. No, for sure.
Oh
But-
no, I was thinking long term just to not deal with Tyrese Halliburton because he was going to be a problem. In 18 months, that guy was going to be a problem. That dude was going to be averaging 29 points a game for a team that he don't want to be on, and we're going to have Kevin Love, all these inner name for small team dude all over again. He was going to get bigger than Buddy Hield, making a literal fraction of his contract. Insane. So,
Well, I'll step in real quick and say this small piece. Halliburton, like we discussed earlier in our group chat, would have no choice but to play for the Kings for the next 3 to 5 years. Like realistically,
that's not the world we live in, dude.
I said if this trade had not happened, if the trade had not happened, that's just the future we were heading towards. However, Toby's Pacers got a great piece. There's already talks that Tristan Thompson's going to get bought out, so that's great. And Buddy Hield, I don't know how I feel about this because I have a feeling he can stunt a certain nice little wing player's growth they got over in Indiana right now. But that's just me.
Duarte?
Yep. So
They're the same age, right? They're literally the same age,
Yeah.
Matt.
hey, but who's been in the league? Who has been in the league?
Matt, quit playing with me. If you think the Pacers are gonna not keep playing Chris Duarte, you are out of your mind.
I don't
Both
know.
of those dudes are gonna be doing no. Those 2 dudes are gonna be doing 3-point contests in the gym, and it's gonna turn into a bromance, and they're gonna play around the world, starting from opposite sides. And Pacers social media is gonna be like, "Oh my God, look at our 3-point bros!" They're gonna be like, "New splash bros! Wow, look at these guys!" I can already see it now. These guys are gonna go for 30 and 30 in a game and put this on a squad. I think they play well together. Chris Duarte is more of a true guard, and Buddy is a shooter. You can play them both at the same time. They can both thrive. Buddy's problem is himself.
Yeah.
Buddy
Okay.
just shoots to shoot the damn ball. I was talking to a Kings fan earlier today. Dude was like, Buddy just shoots to shoot and doesn't give a damn who's to the right of him. And if that could hinder Chris Duarte, but that's a grown-ass man standing next to him, not some kid in Sacramento. And that's just how he would view those other guys. But maybe have a little more respect for Hallie now. Toby, you are now the proud owner of Tyrese Halliburton future jersey.
All-Star.
Future All-Star next year, Tyrese Halliburton.
Like Toby, if I'm
Next
you,
year.
I just go on Pacers.com right now and pre-order
Buy the
that jersey. Just
Just
pre-order
buy
that shit.
All of them.
Okay, so I have lots to say. I will start with Jeremy Lamb and Justin Holiday, right? I've never been a fan of Jeremy Lamb, to be honest. Very injury prone. And the little games I was able to watch the last couple of years, again, the stupid lucrative deal that Bally Sports signed with DirecTV, I'm not going to talk about it anymore. But I've not liked much of what I've seen with Jeremy Lamb. Justin Holiday, on the other hand, I've seen him have some really, really good games. He's had a couple 30-point games. He's very high percentage shooter. So I hate to see him go, but I get it. Obviously, the biggest thing here is losing Sabonis. Indy adored Sabonis, man. Like, we love that guy. Like, it is so crazy to think about how the PG trade is going to continue to, like, bear fruit for years to come.
Just like the Kyrie trade did.
Right. But it had to happen at this point. We had been talking this whole season about, are we going to dismantle the team? Are we not? Are we going to tank? Are we not? And as we got closer to the trade deadline, it seemed like we weren't. And then the LeVert trade happened, and then this happened. So it's very, very clear. Pritchard and co. finally said enough is enough. We got to completely dismantle this team. And Sabonis was our highest asset, so it makes sense for him to go. Now, the question is Miles Turner. What is going to happen to old Miles? Because Miles has talked about his frustrations with this team. A lot of Pacers fans thought that we could get something of value for Miles Turner. I've been very frustrated with Miles Turner since he's been on our team. He loves Indy, and he's a great dude, but just has not grown to the potential that we thought he would when we drafted him. But after this, I do believe – hi, Suge. I do believe that he's going to stay, and he will take every single paint possession. He doesn't have to fight with Sabonis for touches anymore, so he's going to like that. We're already seeing reports that he is very, very excited to play with Tyrese. So I'm really looking forward to that dynamic. I know this season is kind of a wash. Like, we are tanking. It seems like we want Ivy next year, and hoping that happens. Because if you can look at next year, and this is just hypotheticals, you're talking Miles Turner as the veteran leader of our team. Chris Duarte, who has proved to be a Rookie of the Year contender this year, continues to impress, right? Tyrese Halliburton, who, forgive me, again, I've watched little to no NBA this season. I did not even know who this guy was until this morning. But I immediately after this trade, I hopped on YouTube and I watched his highlights. And I told you guys, like, this dude is the real deal, right? Like, he's pretty freaking good. So Miles Turner, right? Chris Duarte, Tyrese Halliburton, Buddy Hield, who I've liked Buddy Hield since his college days. I really liked his game. So I was really happy to see his name in that trade. And then obviously if we get Ivy, that's huge. And all of these guys are under the age of like 25 years old, right? So a very, very, very young squad that can just grow together. And I understand the league is changing, right? It's just very 3-point centric, and we've not had that team. And I think with these guys, we can become a 3-point problem for other teams. So long story short, I am very, very happy to see this. And we might not be done. Something could happen in the next couple of days. Miles Turner could go, or we could make a couple other little moves. And then Lance coming off the bench. Indy loves Lance. Lance loves Indy. I'm very excited to have him finally signed for the rest of the year. I was tired of those freaking 10-day contracts. Those are ridiculous. But I'm going to shut up now. I'm very happy with this as a Pacers fan, and I'm excited for not necessarily this year, but I think in the next 2-3 years, you're going to be very excited.
Also, Buddy is 29. Chris Duarte is 24. So,
yeah, I was
very far away from the same age.
I was going to say, that did not sound right when you said it, but
You know why? Because I feel like Buddy was a one and done, but he wasn't. He stayed at Oklahoma for 3 years.
Right.
That's why.
There you go. But still, I mean, 29 in today's standards is still very young.
Yeah.
If he stays healthy.
Also, by the way, I know that we already talked about this trade, but Tony Snell is the jersey collector.
Yeah.
In the NBA. Like, dude's been on like every team, and he's just going to keep
minus
going.
the Cavs.
He's
Thank
been
God.
on. I looked at it. I thought he was on like 12.
Bulls, Bucks.
He's been on 4 or
Bulls,
5
Bucks.
now, technically speaking.
Portland Hornets is the 5th.
The one he got traded to today.
I said Pelicans. I said Hornets instead of Pelicans. But
Okay.
Bulls, Bucks, Pelicans, and
Who cares?
Okay.
Trailblazers. I'm trying to figure out.
I meant to ask you guys this
Use
before we
that thing in front of
started.
you called a computer.
I'm looking it up.
Overrated. Go ahead, Toby.
No, I meant to ask you guys before we started. Does the trade deadline really start until George Hill gets moved?
Detroit.
Well, he's not playing, is he?
Atlanta.
He gets traded every single trade deadline.
Not every trade.
The last 4 or 5 years, he has been moved every single trade deadline.
He's been on the Bucks for like the last 3 years.
Yeah, he's been on them twice because he's been traded twice. Like anyway. It was just a joke, but I expect George Hill to be moved in the next couple.
Nothing's
days.
a joke with Matt in the room.
I'm a very literal person. I have no issue admitting that.
We know. Okay, guys. Anything else on the trade deadline before we let?
Well, yeah, Cavs aren't done. Cavs are not done.
Let's talk about the Ben Simmons, James Harden deal a little bit.
Yes.
And here's the deal, guys.
It's happening. Let's be honest.
It's happening, and you don't even have to follow Woj because Shams is a Clutch client.
Yes.
And if anything is coming out, it will come through Shams. So this will be the one thing that Woj gets absolutely crushed on by 85 seconds.
I mean, it came out that Harden's is sitting tonight as a precaution, correct?
Yeah. He sat all weekend. He didn't play a game all weekend. Yeah. He hasn't played since last Thursday.
This is fucking ridiculous. Like,
it's proof that if you whine and complain enough,
which he hasn't even done. Like,
right.
As far as we know, we've like everything that has come out. Kevin Durant has been like, yo, James Harden wants to be here. I want James Harden to be here. We have not heard anyone from the camp be like, James Harden doesn't want to be here. What it sounds like is the Nets don't want James Harden there for some weird reason. Maybe move Kyrie Irving, the dude who can only play half of your fucking games. For now. You know, like for now. I feel like Kyrie knows something. I feel like Kyrie's more connected in the New York government than like the president. It seems like dude would have done. Like, I don't know if he would have come back if he didn't know in some way that he was going to be able to play a full playoff series.
Connor says, "I don't think Ben Simmons gets moved." I didn't think that up until earlier today when they're like James Harden is officially listed as out as a do not play for a decision. And yes,
has become a cancer. He's literally always been a cancer.
How many games has Durant, Kyrie, and Harden played together?
This season or
total 33. I think it's 33.
Yeah, 33.
And the wild
that's way more than I would have guessed.
You want to know the wildest stat is that the other night, AD, LeBron, and Westbrook matched that total in one season.
That's nuts, man. I remember where I was when that big trade happened that brought them all together. And NBA Twitter has never been more hilarious. And then look at what it's become, right?
Oh, well, Stephen A. Smith decided to turn into a fucking even bigger moron this week when he was like, I'm not telling KD this is how I think. I'm just going to tell KD that this is how the world is going to think about it.
Colin, it's not even 33. This came out when Kevin Durant's injury happened. They have played 16 out of 100.
It was 16. It was.
No, it's still because this is when KD got injured. It stayed at 16.
Okay. So
that's
it is 16.
Wild.
Okay.
Also,
out of a possible 113.
Want to hear something even more wild? This is what happens, and I know this as a Cavs fan, when you have 3 all-star starters and a bunch of old-ass and young players sitting on your bench, is that the score of your game is 28-2 with 5 minutes left in the first quarter.
Yeah, I saw that before we went live.
Nick, don't worry. Your favorite Brooklyn Nets player scored 13 off the bench tonight, and they lost.
Is it Cam Thomas?
No. David Duke.
Oh, right. Love that guy.
Well, Memphis is currently beating the Clippers 104-74 at the end of the third. And Ja Morant again has 30 points.
But real quick, there's rumors that started going around today that the Cavs are apparently the closest to acquiring Dennis Schroeder. I'm all for it. I know a lot of people aren't. If it means I get rid of Kevin Pangos,
I think they're the loudest contention of people that don't want Dennis Schroeder to move because that means the Celtics are selling out this year. That's the sign. If the Celtics move on from Dennis Schroeder, they're throwing away the season, and I would expect Jaylen Brown to be moved too.
I mean, I'm fine with it because the LeVert move happened. I had heard that it was one or the other, and
now
I don't want it to be one.
Both.
Right, exactly.
Connor is among the people who don't want Schroeder. I do because I'd like to have a steady backup point guard. It's not like he's going to start, and it preserves Rondo If you give me playoff Rondo and a breaking case of glass, steady point guard in the back, I'm fine. I like Goodwin. Rondo had a great game the other day, but Schroeder's been pretty good off the bench this year, so I'll take it.
Okay, guys. As we wrap this up officially, I'm going to throw this around the horn for one final trade deadline prediction. It can be somebody not moving. It can be somebody moving. Can be anything you want. Matt, what you got?
Dennis Schroeder to the Cavs, please.
Okay.
That's all I got. Like, you're averaging 14 points, 4 rebounds, or excuse me, 3 rebounds and 4 assists off the bench as the backup point guard, shooting 43 from the field and 35 from 3. I'll take it. Give me those stats off the bench.
Obi?
I mean, I'll just reiterate what I said earlier. I think the Pacers make one more move, but it will not include Miles Turner.
Okay. Amp?
Ooh, here we go.
I forgot.
I'm gonna blow everybody's mind before. I think that the Cavs are going to move Colin Sexton and a bunch of picks for DeJounte Murray before the end of the deadline.
That's not going to happen.
I know. I'm
like
kidding.
to
I
see
just
that.
want it.
Well, no. And Connor, here's the thing. That's why you need to hope the Schroeder trade happens, because that's the only way we have a spot to sign TT. So,
Or you release one of your players on a 10-day contract and
we don't have
go with it.
you don't have a player to 10-day contract. Everyone's on guaranteed contract.
Okay. I also don't think the Warriors make any moves.
Yeah, I know. As much as Colin would love them to.
You want to take my fucking words out of your mouth? Say them for myself?
All right. Thanks, everybody, for having me. Good night.
Fine.
So the only way the Warriors are making a move is if it's for a low-level big man, such as Cody Zeller, Bruno Fernando type, maybe even Gordy Jang from Atlanta, a move that wouldn't cost much other than a bench piece and a protected first, and somebody that's willing to move off a bigger contract that's expiring. And even somebody like Nerlens Noel, I think would be big, because we run into an issue where there are true 7-footers in the West you got to get through, named DeAndre Ayton, Anthony Davis, and Nikola Jokic if you want to compete in the Western Conference. And right now, Kevon Looney will not be enough, and Draymond Green will not be enough. So you got to have a sacrificial body to go in there, soak up some fouls, soak up some minutes, and actually be able to compete. So the only way we're making a move, it's for a big man that pays, or for a big man that plays, if it's looking like Wiseman is not going to make a return by March. If Wiseman is not making a full recovery turn by mid-March, I'm looking for maybe even Tristan Thompson, if we could sign him off of the Pacers.
I was about to say
him.
that.
Yeah, I mean, that would be a move that would I think would work really fine and doesn't involve the trade deadline, and everyone's still right. Something like that. Toby, you want to make a Super Bowl pick before you bounce?
I mean, are we gonna talk Super Bowl for a minute?
We're gonna talk Super Bowl for a little bit.
Okay. So.
Well, let's just talk Super Bowl. If you're gonna chill, let's just talk Super Bowl.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, I have grown throughout the course of the season, to actually very much like the Los Angeles Rams. Like, they are my second team right now, and for a couple of reasons. Number one, I have always really, really liked and respected Matthew Stafford. He got the short end of the stick in Detroit, man. That organization is just pitiful.
Yes, they are.
So I'm very, very, very happy for him to see him succeed in his first year in LA. Cooper Kupp, my goodness, this guy, like,
he's the Larry Bird of football.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only reason people question that is because he's white. Is like, how is this white wide receiver so freaking good? But him and Matthew, like, they just, in year one, it's just they got it together. And then OBJ obviously has fit right in. Sorry, Matt. So it just seems like everything's running on full cylinders in LA, and I'm happy to see. Bye, Matt. I'm happy to see Stafford and Kupp and company, really, I did not expect in year one, right, to go to the Super Bowl. And then on the flip side, man, the Cincinnati Bengals, right? Like, I feel like I can kind of relate to the Cincinnati Bengals fans. I know they have not had even nearly to the success that the Colts have. But it's Midwest team, right? Like ride or die. And they've had QB issues, since the 90s. And again, to see them kind of just rise together with this second year QB and make a run into the freaking Super Bowl. Like that's really, really incredible. In this game, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's insane to me that out of the history of the NFL up until last year, a home team had never hosted the Super Bowl. Now it's going to happen twice in a row. Like that's kind of insane.
But
no, man, I am
out of like first team to host the conference championship game and a Super Bowl is this year. And I'm like, nobody gives a fuck.
And I don't want to put. I don't want to put. I do not want to put on my tinfoil hat because of this stadium.
Have you seen this white jersey statistic? Have you seen this white jersey statistic that 11 out of the last 14 Super Bowl champions have worn the white jerseys?
Oh, I've not heard that, but that's not what I was talking about.
It gets into some weird shit. You're like, whoa, what's happening here?
I was specifically talking about how this brand new stadium, like the most insane stadium I've ever seen, is not only hosting the Super Bowl but hosting its team in the Super Bowl. I'm not going to put on my tinfoil hat and say that was something that they kind of made happen. But
I would say though that the Rams put themselves in this situation and peaked too soon. Like they did this. It was not the NFL that did this. The Rams actively were a good team that made moves to make themselves better. And Toby, I hate to tell you this, bro, but they got the Super Bowl like 4 years ago before the stadium was even built.
Yeah,
so this would have been a lot of
Oh no! I was not going to put on my tinfoil hat, but I've seen those comments kind of floating out there, and so I just thought,
they're there. And I would say they'd be even louder last year if Tom Brady hosting the Super Bowl.
To be fair, if the NFL really wanted to rig it like that, they would have. I was going to say it would have been Chargers versus Rams. But Brandon Staley, a Cleveland boy that he is, a total dumbass, decided, no, I'm going to play actual defense instead of just let them take the knee to win the game or to tie the game, and we both go to.
Okay, well, let's break down this game just a little bit. We'll each call out an X factor that we want or that we think is going to dictate the game. We will take a look at the spread and we will pick our picks with the score, and we'll get Shugs at some point during the week and tweet those out. Let's break this down. Matt, I'm going to throw it over to you. One X factor in this game, either side of the ball for either team.
The Rams defensive pass rush, because we saw what happened.
You must have been watching SportsCenter all day today.
No, I haven't been.
One stat they've been throwing up all day on SportsCenter. The Rams defense is number one in pass rush, and that the Bengals offensive line is ranked 30th in pass rush.
Yeah, they played well. They played well,
which is absolutely bonkers.
Went from giving up 8 sacks to maybe 1 or 2 in the AFC Championship.
To be fair, it's not like Kansas City had a great pass rush this year.
No, but they were healthier than they were last year, and they added Melvin Ingram in the middle of the season, and they actively got better, and they were missing the safety blanket of Matthew in the back end.
Yeah. Overall, what wasn't a great? They don't have a great pass rush, and they
definitely nowhere comparable to LA.
Right.
And respect either LA.
Yeah. So with that in mind, I absolutely expect LA Rams defensive line to devour the Bengals. Jamar Chase has been great. Cool. I don't like Jamar Chase based off of the fact I drafted him in a fantasy football league and a dynasty league. He looked like shit all preseason, couldn't catch a goddamn thing. And I was like, oh God, this is going to be a bust. And I traded him for Julio Jones and a third and fourth rounder.
The buster now.
Yeah. Yeah. Joe
Still
Burrow.
a buster.
Joe Burrow is an Ohio guy, technically, even though he was born.
Well, this whole fucking team is Ohio guys. Like, if I wasn't in a conversation with you, I'd be able to say what I'm about to say next.
It's the Cincinnati Buckeyes. I know. But Literally, what I mean is technically he's an Ohio boy. He was born in Ames, Iowa, but he lived most of his life in Athens, Ohio, and in Ohio in general. Outside of those 2 years he was in LSU. So as much as I'd love to root for an Ohio guy, it's in my conference, so he can go fuck himself. Let's go Rams.
Oh, okay.
Or in my division. In my division.
I would say this isn't my X factor. But I was going to say if you were, just a bystander, the obvious X factor is the Rams wide receiver core because no one outside the state of Ohio can name somebody playing cornerback or safety for the Cincinnati Bengals. And that's a fact. Like it's like I had to look it up to be confident. I knew who they were, but I just had to be confident that we're going to fuck up these names.
Eli
Mike
Apple.
Hilton, Awuzie,
Mike
Eli Apple, Von Bell, Jesse Bates, Jalen Davis, Trey Waynes, Trey Flowers, Michael Thomas, Ricardo Allen, Vernon Hargraves III. This is not your star secondary. This is definitely very Steel Town, just put this shit together and let's hope it works. And that was really what the Bengals defense was. The Bengals threw together a bunch of guys who were not your A, even B plus level free agents. They went for the B to C plus free agents, and they really did a great job of forming together a defense that found a love for each other, that wants to play together, and plays honestly in more reminiscent of the Giants defense from the Pat Super Bowls that have guys who are great players who are going to jump off the page, but they also got dudes that you don't know that are going to come up and make insane plays when the moment counts, just like in that Chiefs game. Those guys were ball-seeking in that Chiefs game in overtime, the last 5 minutes and in overtime. They were taking advantage of every mistake that Mahomes put on the table. And if those opportunities come up from Matt Stafford, which I love Matt Stafford as a pro, college Matt Stafford can suck it, but Matt Stafford as a Detroit Lion does not get any respect in the league outside of Dan Orlovsky on ESPN. And it's absolutely insane because the dude just seems like because you're a career loser in the statistical category of wins and losses that you're not a good quarterback. He's a great quarterback, and he just didn't have the guys around him. I'm sorry. Aside from Megatron, and Megatron and one player are not going to separate you from everyone else in the league. Like the guy was going up and playing up against Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre his entire career. What do you want to do?
Okay, so I totally hear you. But number one, and you all know this, I don't have to say this, but the Cincinnati Bengals did not make the Super Bowl because of their defense, right? Like it's Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow is the reason they're in the Super Bowl. And then also Patrick Mahomes shit the bed in the second half of the AFC Championship. Like let's just put out there. The defense didn't have to do much.
To be fair, and I said this last week, or I said this before, I expected that because this game was almost copy and paste exactly what happened week 17 of the regular season.
Sorry, guys. Arkansas just upset Auburn, the number one team in the country in college basketball.
Nice,
huge. Arkansas comes to court.
But no, this Chiefs Bengals game was like copy and paste of what happened in week 17, where Patrick lit him up in the first half. Bengals were basically down 3 touchdowns. They shut him down in the second half, came back and won it.
No, but what I was going to say is if Joe Burrow can get going, if that offensive line can perform, and just give him just a little bit of time, just a little bit of time for him to, to find his receivers and just then get the check down game going, right, and just start tearing them apart, picking them apart. I think the Rams might be in trouble. But as we've already talked about, the Rams, pass rush is absolutely incredible with Aaron Donald. So if Joe Burrow
Von Miller and Leonard Floyd, we can just go down the list. Dude after dude after dude after dude after dude.
But I do believe
receiver at 5.
I do believe Cooper Kupp and OBJ are just going to have just the game of their careers on Sunday. Like I really do.
I hope OBJ tears his ACL in this.
Will you stop? Will you stop?
Shut up.
It's over. He's not on the team anymore. Move on. It's okay.
Your team, the players on your team are not a cancer. Your team is the cancer.
Whoa. Pause. When you tell a player who isn't on the offensive side of the ball, yeah, don't request a trade to Cleveland, and you're just fuck you. That is a cancerous. This is before he's out of Cleveland. So fuck that narrative. He's a cancerous bitch.
It's over. It's over. He's in the Super Bowl. He won. He's in the Super Bowl.
Cancerous bitch.
He's about to probably win a Super Bowl. It's crazy, I know, but
I was gonna pick the
I know.
Bengals, but now I really want to pick the Rams.
I think the Rams. I think the Rams win. The Rams win by 2 touchdowns.
I'm
I
picking
think
the Rams
so.
because
2
I respect
touchdowns?
Stafford.
By 2 touchdowns.
That's
I
a
hope
great
not. I
game.
want this to be a good game. The last couple Super Bowls have been just, but
What?
I hope this is a really good game.
We're 2 seasons removed from the Niners Chiefs Super Bowl where Pat Mahomes had to come back.
I said
Right.
last couple Super Bowls have been.
But the last 3
That's what they won.
It was
That's what they
one.
won.
It was 1 ago. The last 2 out of 3 have been really good.
Okay.
Toby no
Fair
good at
point.
math.
I'm not good at math. We've been in COVID for going on 3 years. So my brain in terms of timelines is just mush. I don't know when anything happened anymore. But all I'll say is I want a really good game. I want a fun game. I want a close game. That's all I'm asking for. And also Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre and Kendrick Lamar. That's kind of
And
a big deal
Eminem.
too.
And Mary
Eminem.
J. Blige. It's like the Rams defensive line. It just keeps going and going and going.
Yeah, there's gonna be a football game during the Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, Kendrick Lamar, Eminem concert.
Don't
kinda
forget
crazy.
Mary J, you bitch.
And not
And
forget Mary J.
There's a
Blige.
lot of people. There's a lot of people. It went from one band, one performer to fucking 7 people performing during the halftime show.
Because they're all connected to Dre. This is the Dre halftime show.
Okay, so before we get to our game picks, let's have a fun pick. The movie trailer that will have that we aren't expecting.
You already know what I'm gonna say. It's not a movie. It is
Tell me.
not.
We said that we aren't
it's not a
expecting. We
movie.
said that we
We
aren't
aren't-
expecting.
No, I don't know, Toby. This is the sport. Matt, this is a sports show. These people don't know. Toby, what you got?
If we do not see the Obi-Wan Kenobi trailer on Sunday, I don't know what to say. Like, if that's the next show,
Toby.
that needs to happen.
Toby.
Like, it must happen. The Lord of the
Toby.
Rings show airs in September, and we are getting a trailer on Sunday.
Toby.
On Sunday, and it airs in September.
Toby.
Where's the trailer, guys? It's gonna happen. If it doesn't, I'm a riot.
Toby, we're getting the trailer tomorrow. Don't worry. It's gonna be the stinger for Boba Fett.
I mean, I'll be happy with that too, to be honest. But it just makes sense. You know, Boba Fett will be over, right? Lucasfilm does not cross promote anything. Super Bowl Sunday is the perfect day. This is their biggest project since Force Awakens, in my opinion. Like everyone is excited for this show. With everyone coming back, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. Like the trailer, if it does not happen tomorrow, it will happen on Sunday. It just has to.
And if it doesn't happen Sunday,
I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say if it does not happen on
Can I
Sunday.
tell you this, Toby?
Yes.
That show doesn't need the Super Bowl.
yeah, it doesn't.
No, I know.
But that would
it
be
just
the only
makes
thing that I
sense.
think Disney's going to look at because it's never going to be on ABC. But this is just something that Disney struggles with every year,
Mm-hmm.
especially this year. You are going to see a really shitty commercial for a Jurassic World movie that nobody wants, and it will play probably. You'll see some
I
mini
want it.
trailers leading up to it, and you'll probably see 3 total Jurassic Park trailers on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And they are kind of in the world of like, do we really care? And guess what? We're probably going to get a Crimes of Grindelwald trailer because that's Universal, NBC, Comcast too.
No, it isn't because it's Warner Brothers.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you know where the theme parks are?
I
It's,
know- it's-
Harry Potter World is literally
I know,
right next to Jurassic
but
Park. So
I know it is, but my point is
I'm
the
saying
actual.
it's more likely than Disney. Do you want to? I will.
That's
come
fair.
there and take
That's
that Baker Mayfield jersey off you right now.
It's the jersey of shame. It's the jersey of shame.
Yeah, it is. I'm happy you admit it.
I said that when I came on.
Good.
It's also the only brown jersey I had within reach of me, but the rest are downstairs in the line.
Okay. Matt, do you have a pick?
It's not.
How
gonna
about a
be much-
movie you haven't seen anything from that you want to see something from that you think this would be a good opportunity?
Fuck, there's not this year. It's hard because a lot of the good stuff is they've pushed kind of back to the end of the year.
I was gonna say John Wick, but that got moved a whole year, so maybe not.
Like a lot of studios are like putting the stuff towards the end of the year. I was looking at like maybe a Doctor Strange trailer, but I doubt that. I don't think.
Yeah,
that'll
they
happen.
just dropped the Lightyear trailer today that I thought would
Right.
have been fine. It wouldn't have been a great trailer, but it was a fine trailer. I didn't think it was great.
Yeah. So like There's not much like I always do the thing where I look ahead because I try to plan out my schedules because of the screenings and whatnot and other things I want to do.
We're going to be very free from like June to August. It seems like.
Yeah,
Maybe
there's
even
not
October.
there's not a lot coming out that I'm like.
It's a whole lot of screeners you watch at home stuff.
Well, no,
It's a whole lot
because
of
July we get Thor.
for now.
A Thor trailer, I could see that happening.
Thor trailer.
Thor trailer.
I could see
then
that.
But then again, that goes back to the Disney issue. Does Disney
Yeah.
feel comfortable? Yeah. So
But
That's
also,
so stupid. Can we talk about how
I would
stupid
say-
that is? That's so stupid that they
really
would not
not,
show a
though.
trailer because they don't have the rights to
Well,
the
didn't
airing.
they
of-
show-
no.
Didn't they show a solo trailer during the Eagles-Pats Super Bowl?
No.
I believe they
Yes,
did.
they did.
Yeah.
No, it was
Yes,
good.
they
It was good. It was Good Morning America. It was Good Morning
No,
America.
they did not. They showed something during it, and then the trailer was released the next day. Maybe I'll give you that.
No,
I
no,
think
he's
we
right.
saw something solo during that Super Bowl, so that might backtrack us a little bit. But I also can't confirm on what network that was. I do feel like it was NBC. I feel like Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth called that. You want to talk about setup? Bengals and Chris Collinsworth are in the Super Bowl. That's a setup.
Right.
Yeah. So the
2017, right? 2017 Super Bowl?
2018.
So-
2018. We get is when we got the little spot to announce the trailer for
Spot to announce the trailer that they then came out with. But okay.
Yeah.
So Disney's done it. Who knows?
It just
Okay, let's get back to the real reason why we're here, and is to pick the game. We will pick the game, and we will pick the score, which in turn picks our spreads. I will be keeping track of these in a little spreadsheet as I throw it over to the master to start us off.
35-28 Rams.
it's a high scoring game. Jeez.
I would love it.
I'm gonna say 24-13 Rams.
Oh God, what an awful game! I hope that.
I said I'm hoping for a good, fun game, but
Hope
it's
you like
fun at all.
hope you like defensive games.
yeah,
Oh,
I
what
think
is that? I hope it's like 13-13 till 5 minutes left, and then the Rams just go off like that. That's man.
I just think we are not spoiled enough as football fans to have the playoffs that we just had and then have an incredible Super Bowl. I just don't think we don't deserve it.
Okay, I've been so right I'm on a streak right now, and I'm really afraid to fuck it up. But I feel like I have to. I think the Rams are gonna lose this game. I don't know why, but y'all do not know Matt Stafford the way some of us down here know Matt Stafford. All right, this boy has been doing the same shit. He's been bringing the same energy, and he's going to fool y'all, all right? For 3 quarters, this man's going to fool y'all, and it's going to be really, really good. I'm telling y'all, it's going to be tied like 24-24 with 8 minutes left in the 4th quarter, and then Joe Burrow is coming to town to pluck away all the happiness from the Rams fans that don't exist. John Campia and all the Rams fans that aren't real.
Hold on. There's one real Rams fan I can say, and that is Craig the Barbarian.
Sure,
Season ticket
and my
holder.
stepmom, who's a St. Louis Rams fan and barely roots for these Rams. Like, it's a really sparse fan base. It's kind of wild to try to get it around my head. Here's the score: Bengals win 38-32.
Jesus, that's a high scoring game. I don't think we're that lucky.
See the 2 teams on the field.
I don't
This other
think we're
team
that
doesn't give a
lucky.
fuck what defense is on the field.
The game is
This
going to
is so
start.
fair.
The game is going to start with 2 punts per team, and we're going to be sitting on our couches like,
That's
"What
fine.
the fuck did we
Joby, I
just
hope
see?"
you're wrong.
I
Okay,
do
so-
too.
okay, so-
I told you I'm hoping for an exciting, crazy game that goes down to the wire, like this entire playoffs has been.
Hold on.
But
I
we're
will
not
give
that
everyone
lucky.
the right to change their score pick based off of what I'm about to say. The current spread is Rams -4.5. Okay. All of us have the Rams covering, except for me. I have the Bengals covering because they win.
Mm-hmm.
The over is 48.5. Toby is the only one taking the under of 48.5. Matt and I throttle that.
I just think you guys. I'm thinking more as fans, we don't deserve a good Super Bowl after the playoffs that we just had.
We just lost millions of people on this planet, Toby, to infectious disease. We deserve anything.
I mean, no, I hear you, but I'm telling you, man, we're gonna be sitting, we're gonna have our popcorn, our chips and dip, we're ready, Super Bowl Sunday, let's go, and then 2 punts for each team, and we're just waiting for Snoop Dogg and Kendrick and Mary J. Blige and Eminem to take the stage to save us from another boring Super Bowl. But I hope I'm wrong. I'll be the negative Nancy tonight.
Does anybody want to change their picks?
Nope.
Lock it in, folks. That's it. Matt takes the Rams 35-28. Toby takes the Rams 24-13. And Colin takes the Bengals 38-32. Well, I don't know what else we got to say about sports, folks.
LeBron versus Bron.
Oh, okay. We can loop this back around. There's a little story this week with LeBron James's contract coming into question at the end of the 2023 season, and Mr. Young Bronny James coming into draft eligibility in the same year, that LeBron would hold off his free agency decision and see where his son would be eventually drafted to. I believe this causes a bit of a stir-up that we've never quite seen before in basketball and puts teams in a precarious situation where their draft pick holds more power than a draft pick has ever held in the history of the sport.
Yeah.
Is that hyperbole, or am I crazy in saying that?
Nope. Especially when that draft pick's probably going to, by the time they're done growing, be about 6'5". He's 6'3" right now. So he's only a junior. So I see one more growth spurt in him, probably about 2 inches. So you're going to have a nice shooting guard, small forward, or shooting guard, point guard, small forward combo with his daddy going on there. And they probably are already practicing shit in the backyard. He knows it's his opportunity to coach his son and possibly get his son a championship in the first year they're together.
Can I be the voice of reason here for a second? LeBron James and Bronny are not going to play on the same team. That's just not going to happen. Number one, can I ask a question? Is Bronny even that good in comparison comparison to everyone else?
He's a top 30 prospect in his draft class.
Okay. Because I don't know what they're putting in the food these days at these freaking super duper expensive high schools, but freaking 12-year-olds are dunking now. You got NBA recruits at the age of 13, 14 years old. I don't know what's going on. So when I see Bronny play and I'm like, oh, he's pretty good. But then I look at everyone else and they're also amazing and they're super duper young. I don't even know what my point is here, but I didn't know if he was actually as good as people say.
Bronny is good. He's more of a natural point guard, but he's pretty damn good.
With that being said, I don't think he's going to play with his dad. I really don't. I think, and I don't.
Why am I not seeing him in any 2023 mock drafts? I've looked up 4 in the last 25 seconds.
I got no clue.
See him in any
because it's 2024. Because LeBron has the option to opt out in 2023, and they're saying he'd opt in.
Thank you.
Does Bronny even go to college?
No.
There's no way he goes to college.
He'd probably go to. They're saying next.
If he goes to college, he's going to Ohio State or Duke.
Yeah.
He's not going to college.
He might go the G League Ignite route.
I wouldn't. Bronny James is currently projected as the 26th pick in the 2024 NBA draft per NBADraftRoom.com. So
how old will LeBron be in 2024?
Would be
38.
39.
38, 39.
38, turning 39 that season. It would be approaching his 40-year season.
I could definitely see them playing in the NBA together, but not on the same team.
This would be like if
LeBron here, Toby. I would disagree with you, but LeBron has made it known that if he was still playing in the league when his son came in,
if he hadn't said shit about it, we're not talking about it.
I don't know if I'm Bronny. I don't know if I want to play with my dad. You don't
want to play the best basketball player of all time.
But that's his dad.
Toby, I'm on your side. I wouldn't want to play my dad. I wouldn't want to play my dad.
That's his pops.
But at the same time, there's rumors that it would also be his farewell season because he's like, I just want to play one season with my son.
I don't know if I'm Bronny. I don't want that to happen, man. I know how embarrassed I am around my dad sometimes, and to be on the same team, traveling together. You want to go party with the youngsters, and you got your pops watching your back.
Back to my first point. This then creates a draft on which we've never seen before. Like I just said, Bronny is currently projected as the 24th pick. But if you draft Bronny that you get LeBron in free agency, that increases the value of that pick.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how we can truly assess that until
if,
we have to wait for literally 2 more full seasons of basketball to take place before we can accurately have the conversation of what teams are in contention to be in that spot.
And realistically,
are in contention for that spot.
Well, and here's the thing. At the same time, does that mean a team reaches on Bronny? Does that mean Bronny goes where he's supposed to go? And if Bronny's going where he's supposed to go, he's ending up most likely on a team that's going to be in playoff contention.
LeBron's not going to New Orleans if the Pelicans trade everything for Bronny. LeBron's not going to go to an organization that's dysfunctional. So this might be the greatest tampering scandal in the history of the NBA. I'm serious. This is going to be insane.
What if Bronny wants to be a dentist? Huh? Like, he doesn't have to go.
Nobody asked him. He might want to be a video game designer like the kid from Space Jam 2.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what if he wants to be a dentist? Or
he's a part of Bay's Clan or whatever the fuck it is. So
he is. Yeah. He is a gamer. He's pretty good too. Actually, I've seen his clips.
Yeah,
kid slaps. It's pretty good.
I don't know. That's so far down the road, but also only 2 years from now, which is just absolutely insane. But
only one school has given Bronny an offer right now. Can you guys guess who that is?
I mean, it's pretty. You can say it, but I'm pretty sure I know who it is. I'm pretty sure.
Take a guess, Colin. Take a guess.
Is it gonna surprise us? Is that why you're bringing it up?
I just want to see. Take a guess. Each of you take a guess.
It's Kentucky.
Toby gets it on first go.
Whee! I got something right for once.
They had him offered. I think they offered him
like as soon as he became offerable.
Yeah, it was like 2018. It was like 2019. It was like some really like fucking Pete Carroll shit. It was some like signing an 8-year-old shit back in the day.
That's the only school that has given him an actual offer. Duke, Kansas.
Yes, because the only school been anywhere near close to or had any sort of functional relationship with, because all those players are so in contact with LeBron, and LeBron is so involved with
and how close Bron and Calipari are also.
Yeah, Calipari and Bron are extremely close. We all know that.
Or I know this is crazy because it's never happened before. Wink, wink. But they could just let high schoolers enter the NBA straight out of high school. They could just do that.
There's a chance that starts next year. That's on the table.
We've been waiting for. There is the possibility that when this CBA expires and when they change it over, that there is a double draft. People have been waiting for 2023, 2024 to be the year of the double draft. So that's why you do see teams more likely to pitch off their 2022 picks this season, because this draft is 7 deep, maybe 8, and I'm stretching on 8.
And Toby, that's why I told you, I think the Cavs fleeced y'all a little bit because it's not that great of a draft.
Mm-hmm. No, I get what you're saying.
It's just seemed like a really weird year, and then this was honestly the first year. If we're talking 3 years ago, 2022 was the earliest that the double draft could have happened. So people did load up on 2022 picks, so people are a bit more flexible with them. And now we're going to see that matriculate over to 2023 and to 2024. And then once that double draft happens, it's on like Donkey Kong. Like we're going to see a rookie class like we've never seen before, and all expectations will be thrown out the window. But folks, Super Bowl's on Sunday. UFC's on Saturday. Izzy Adesanya coming back. The style bender. Gonna crush some skulls. We got the USA versus Japan snowboarding battle that will be taking place at the Olympics. The USA is not doing so hot in the Olympics. The Russian Olympic Committee team is crushing it right now with 10 medals. Second place has 8, and USA is tied for 8th with 5 right now. So USA needs to pick that effort up a bit. Come on, folks. Let's go. I got nothing else for you guys. This has been a good
I have
show.
one question. One more question to end the show. What is your guys' favorite, most quintessential Super Bowl food?
Chili cheese dog dip. Chili cheese dog dip.
Chili cheese dog dip. Okay, say that 5 times really fast. Number 1. Number 2, I've never even heard of that. What is that?
So cheese dog. There you go.
So it's essentially what you would put on a chili cheese dog as a dip. So like you add, that's the meatless, it's the beansless chili, or if you like beans and dip, you can do bean and chili, cheese. And I got to pull the recipe up again, but I think it's just after that it's just cream cheese. and then you make pigs in a blanket, and you put you cook the pigs in a
Yeah,
blanket.
you put the cheese on the blanket, and then
No.
Uh-huh.
The cheese. Is
hold up
part
now.
of the
Now
dip.
I'm trying to make this thing better.
No,
Hold on.
hold on.
Hold on.
The more
No.
cheese. You
No.
never have too
more,
much cheese.
More
No,
cheese,
more
more cheese if you want, but you just cooked it. You cook the actual dip, so it's just nice, warm, and you just use the cocktail weenies and just dip it. And
Oh, that's actually kind of fun. I've never even thought of that.
It's
Okay, here's mine.
delicious.
Shout out to my stepmom, Stephanie. For the last 20 years, she's been making one of the best. Oh, we did want to talk about
Oh
that.
yeah, he
We'll touch on
unfollowed
that
the
for a second
Cardinals on
right after this.
Instagram.
Actually, Matt, send Buck a fucking link.
Yeah,
Send Buck.
Buck, you're getting the link.
Send Buck a link. My stepmom Steph, she's been making this 7-layer dip that is just so good. It's like the one you don't want to buy at the store, the one that's been sitting in the store for too long, except she just made it. And it is the bomb. It's got everything you want. It's basically like a great taco topper. You know, like if you were to make nachos and put everything on top, it's like that, but in a dip. And it is just so good. And then she does the cream cheese buffalo dip. That one's always a banger.
Yeah.
Cream cheese chili dip. Basically, Matt, what you're talking about, but put some cream cheese in that thing.
No, cream cheese is in the dip. Cream cheese is in the dip.
Oh, then we're good.
Yeah.
Then we're good. I'm good on that. And I will ask the man, Buck, what are you eating for the Super Bowl?
I haven't decided.
What's your favorite?
Wings and pizza is my go-to.
Wings.
Can't go wrong.
You're like
Cannot go wrong
Hugh
with that.
Jackson singing wings and pizza. I love those. juicy dipping
I was
wings and
watching one of my
pizza.
favorite internet shows besides the one on this illustrious network and others. The Hot Ones had released their frozen chicken tenders that come with the Hot Ones sauces. And it comes with the first sauce, the middle sauce, and the last sauce. $14.99 for 35 chicken nuggies from Walmart. And I picked them up, and I'm going to take my air fryer over to my dad's, and it's going to be you pick the score at the end of each quarter.
Ooh,
The
squares
closer
is
you are to
fun.
being right, the less hot your wing will be.
Oh wow, that sounds fun.
And it will be
That's
because
a
my
nice
stepmom is
twist.
the type of person who will stick a whole wad of wasabi in her mouth just to prove she could do it. So I really want to see if she can handle the hotness of the hottest Hot Ones wings. But we had to bring on Buck because I mentioned this in the group chat and totally forgot. It's just been a crazy day. Buck, why has Kyler Murray stripped his social media of all references to the Arizona Cardinals?
Not true. Not true, actually.
Not true. Oh.
Not all, but some.
No, but if you look, he does have a post from the Pro Bowl that does have a Cardinals emblem on the jersey. Also, the highlights on his post still have Cardinals stuff on it. By the way, he never followed the Cardinals on Twitter, so that going around is actually not true. I just found it very odd that he scrubbed all of this like right after the Pro Bowl. So it seemed very odd to me. What I think it is he's not happy with Keim and Cliff. I think they have started negotiations on his contract extension, and they're nowhere close. So I think he did
Kyler's
that.
extension or Cliff's extension?
Kyler's.
Okay.
I think they're starting those talks, and they're nowhere close. I personally pay the man what he wants. I was watching this team when they had Max Hall and John Skelton. I don't want to go back to that, please. I know he had a bad playoff game. It wasn't just him, though. The entire team, coaches and players alone, had an awful playoff game. I was watching a highlight of all of his highlights from this past year. Hopkins went out against Green Bay. Offense was not the same sense. So I think he depends on Hopkins too much, and I think Cliff does the same thing. So when they don't have Hopkins out there, the offense struggles. And we saw that in the last 6 weeks of the season. Like inside the red zone, they couldn't punch it in. They could not punch it in the end zone. That's why
James Conner to run it in from 45.
That's why my number one move for them for this offseason, James Conner. I'm fine with letting Christian Kirk go. Fine with letting AJ Green go. Fine with letting Chandler Jones go. I would like Chase Edmonds back as well, but I don't know if they can bring back Edmonds and Connor. So if I had to choose one, it is James Conner. I want James Conner back.
I'm with you there.
So,
I'm with you there. Matt, any response to the Kyler is not actually deleting all this stuff? Because
I didn't know about it until now, so no response from me, Colin.
Okay.
Back to you,
it
Cotton.
just really did sprout up at like 2:00 in the afternoon today of like the whole NFL Twitter sphere had nothing to fucking talk about. And it was like 3 people at the Super Bowl were all looking at their social media at the same time and just being like, let's find a story. And they found one. And I kind of feel more
Cardinals Twitter the last 48 hours has been losing their shit.
I can imagine.
Because this dropped Sunday night and like everyone's like, oh my God, what is he doing? Like, what does this mean? Someone said that maybe he has a new marketing
that
company.
does happen a lot. That was going to be my next point. Sometimes that happens and they scrub shit and it's not even him. It's somebody else going through and getting rid of posts that didn't circulate. Or
he's been very quiet since, by the way. I don't think he's tweeted or posted any Instagram story. He hasn't been on Twitch or anything. He's been very quiet since all because he knows if he goes live on Twitch, it's gonna just get comments fucking galore asking about it. So.
If I'm him, I'm on a boat in Cabo for the next 2 weeks and until after the Super Bowl, and then let everybody die down and chillax. Buck, while we have you here, do you have a Super Bowl pick, sir, with the score?
Bengals 35.
Let's go.
Rams 31.
God, y'all are expecting just an offensive game. And
because one of these teams doesn't have a defense, Toby.
I don't. Again, I will say it for the millionth time.
Holy
We
shit.
do not deserve.
No.
Deserve it.
Fuck, you need to go bet this right fucking now because what you're saying is that the Bengals will win and the Rams will cover. Right now, it is the Rams minus 4.5. You need to go
4.5. Okay, 4.5. Okay.
You need to hammer that. You need to hammer the Rams 4.5 and the Bengals money line. Go.
I'll just one thing to the Kyler Murray story. What beat writer or what fan is like constantly refreshing Kyler Murray's Instagram to see who he is and isn't following? Like, I want to know, like, what do they do
like that,
in their day? Like,
fans are crazy like that.
They got too much time on their hands.
Toby, you're talking to a fan of the city who tracks Dan Gilbert's personal fucking plane to see that it is flying to Miami to meet LeBron.
Yeah,
fans are crazy as shit.
By the way, it's really easy to find if they're following. You just go to their following list and you type in the @ Like, that's all you have to do to find out.
Well, yeah, but like, is someone doing that every single day? Like, oh, let's see if Kyler Murray's unfollowed the Cardinals.
What started it was
the
they
scrubbing,
saw the deletion of posts, and then
that's what caused it. And
he
was never.
That makes more sense.
He was never following them on Twitter. People just assumed that he unfollowed because he's not currently following them. I hope it's
honestly,
the whole.
I wouldn't want to follow a page that just talked about me all the time either. It seems kind of.
I hope it's he's working with a new marketing company and they scrubbed the entire thing to basically start from scratch. I'm really hoping that's what it is. If he's not happy with Kime and Cliff, it's another Cardinals player that has an issue with Kime. So many past players have said.
I personally have an issue. I know a Cardinals player who has issues with
Kime.
Yes,
I bet yes, and I think I know who it is too. We talked about this. I personally want Kime gone. Everyone's like, oh, give him one more season. I don't trust him to draft.
The man don't trust him in general.
I know. Like, I don't trust him to draft. He's gonna draft some fucking off-ball middle linebacker that's gonna play 40% of the snaps.
You mean like he did this last year?
It's done the last 2 fucking years.
Isaiah Simmons does not count. Back up.
How does he not count?
Because the dude never he's a spur. We call it spur, but he's a safety linebacker. Like the guy is still.
They couldn't figure out where they wanted to play him for a season and a half. I think he's more of a safety. I don't think he is
a new safety. Like he is the type of safety that can track down these fast quarterbacks and all this stuff. All right, we can get into that another time. But Buck, thank you so much for hopping on at the end of the show. Toby, thank you so much for sticking around the whole show.
Oh, and I just want to say, my My favorite Super Bowl food is sliders. I'm a big sliders guy.
Toby, I sent you that recipe, by the way.
I did see that. I appreciate it.
You seemed intrigued, so I'm like,
I'm very intrigued. I'm very intrigued.
Everybody, send us your Super Bowl food spreads at WhatRealEnt. Put the hashtag Real Sports and let us know what you're eating on Super Bowl Sunday. Matt, tell the folks what this channel has coming up this week. Dun, dun,
Hold on. Tomorrow afternoon, before Saber Reels, which I sadly will not be on, will be the upload of my Death on the Nile review. So you can be sure to check that out. Did I like this movie better than Murder on the Orient Express, which I actually really like? Or did I think it flounders on the Nile like, well, yeah, a fish? So be sure to check that out. Tomorrow, there's no thumbnail, so I use a temp. Saber Reels with Toby and Colin, and they'll be breaking down the Boba Fett finale and all this wonderful news we got this past week.
Oh boy.
I'm so upset I'm not going to be able to be there. God damn it.
Can you film like an instant reaction for us to play?
I'll consider it. And then Sunday we got a classic episode of Real Talk, myself and Nick, and we're just going to be probably talking about Oscar noms and having fun with that. So got a lot going on this week.
All righty, folks. Well, that will do it for this edition of Real Sports. Let's just get through this week, and Super Bowl Sunday is upon us. I hope everybody has a great rest of their week. Good luck to teams in the trade deadline. Don't do anything too stupid, folks. Warriors, don't you
Dennis Schroeder. Dennis Schroeder. If we get Dennis Schroeder, we're going to the chip. Peace out.
Dennis Schroeder is the X factor for the
That's
Cavs.
absolutely insane. Proof that that's the most Cleveland thing I've ever heard in my life.
Dennis Schroeder is the
Quite
next
literally
piece,
the most
the last
Cleveland